You're listening to The Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
June 15th, Monday night, Angry Tensai, Big Dick, and Killer Kev, Raw Reaction. Big Dick, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Brother. I am doing well this evening. And yourself?
I'm a little contrite tonight because of the loss of the great American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. One of the greatest of all times.
Yes, the common man, the everyman. Truly a legend among men. A great wrestler. Sad to be discussing his passing this week. Fortunately, we are richer for having known him.
For sure.
Truly an everyman champion. I would say people today like Daniel Bryan, even people like Dean Ambrose, the common man fighting for the good of everyone. And truly a legend, and will definitely be missed for a very long time.
What do you do when you've worked a job for 30 years, they give you a watch, they kick you on out, and they say you're being replaced by a computer daddy? Those are hard times. That's hard times.
I just go home to my lady Sweet Sapphire, and I try to make the best of those hard times, my friend.
No matter what Vince McMahon did to him, putting him in black and yellow polka dots, finding the most unattractive female in the world and coupling him with Dusty, he still could get over and he could still be the man with maybe arguably the worst gimmick of all time. That's how great Dusty was.
Yeah, I mean, you see today how clutch gimmicks are with some of these NXT call-ups. And like you said, yellow polka dots, unattractive manager or valet, and one of the greatest of all time. I mean, it's just he fought against the grain and he made it work. He was truly a legend. Overcame a lot of odds. The son of a plumber.
Yes. Well, a lot of things happened over the last 24 hours in WWE, and you know what kind of takes me back out of nowhere? Where did this Roman Reigns Bray Wyatt feud come from? I mean, obviously it started last night when Roman Reigns was trying to ascend to win the Money in the Bank, which he did not do thanks to Bray Wyatt. But, man, that feud just kind of came up out of nowhere for no reason.
Yeah, and you know what? I saw it when it was happening, and I liked it. I saw it again tonight, and they rehashed everything, and I really like it. I like where they're going with this, because right now, what they're doing, they're putting two wrestlers who, I don't want to say are main event wrestlers, but who can be main event wrestlers, who are at that next level, and giving them a feud to allow them to elevate themselves.
Well, I have no problem with the feud itself. My problem is, why are they just being kind of thrown together? You know, there's no build.
Yeah, you know, to be honest with you, I think Bray Wyatt is sort of at the point where he just sort of picks his fights for whatever reason, and they fill in the backstory next. I mean, it seems like that's sort of his MO with The Undertaker. There wasn't a ton of backstory. His feud with Cena, there's a little bit of backstory there with Cena. But, I mean, he just sort of picks his feuds out of nowhere, and WWE goes with them. And I like this feud a lot. I think that, like I was saying, the rationale from the get-go isn't great, but this is a feud I think that can carry both these guys to pretty much to Survivor Series and possibly the main event title picture.
I do think Bray Wyatt wins the feud. I think Roman Reigns' character is going to be one that is frustrated and continues to be frustrated and setback disappointments. So I would expect to see Roman Reigns actually lose this feud, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, I do.
That's the thing. It's too early to call a winner or loser. I think this has potential to last. Sort of like, I guess I don't want to say the Kevin Owens John Cena feud because that's really 2 weeks old. But I feel like you just got some great matches. I mean, Roman Reigns is finally starting to get over as a face. I think WWE has wanted him to get over over the last month or so, sort of being Dean Ambrose's buddy and helping him thumb his nose at the Authority. So I like that a lot. And I think Bray Wyatt, he may have the cool factor there, have sort of the cool factor back up there. But I think he's ultimately going to come over as one of the better non-chicken shit heels out there. I almost this could elevate, and again, I don't know. I don't want to say it's going to elevate again into a Shield Wyatt family match, but this could elevate. I mean, you're basically looking at the arguable leaders of the Shield and no doubt the leader of the Wyatt family during over the last year or so. I mean,
yeah, I guess the backstory's there for sure.
See, Bray Wyatt is the leader, but I mean, there's some argument over the Shield who was running the show there, but you could argue that Roman Reigns was the leader and sort of led that charge.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. I have no issue with a longer feud, so if they want to go for a while with these guys, I have no problem with it. I mean, and I don't think there's anything wrong with losing a feud. You can still look great. I mean, you look at Dean Ambrose last night in the ladder match. He may have lost the match, but I mean, you can't come off any better in a loss than Ambrose did. I mean, he basically overcame all odds, would not stay down, and basically, both guys brought the title down, and tie goes to the offense, and Rollins basically came down with the belt, even though they both brought it down. And, I thought Ambrose really, really looked good tonight coming out and holding the floor until he got another title match, and he gets cut off by Sheamus. But I'm actually disappointed there won't be another Ambrose Rollins match, because in reality, Ambrose is up in the feud as of this most recent series. Ambrose pinned him on SmackDown a couple of months ago. He won the Elimination Chamber match by DQ, and this was the first one he lost. So I'm surprised they're just going to drop the feud here because it's been such a great feud. I'm a little disappointed about that. How about you?
Yeah, you know what? I thought that, to be honest with you, I thought that they were going to save Brock Lesnar until Seth Rollins needed to come in at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this is sort of leading us to sort of a screw job over at SummerSlam and maybe have a triple threat match or something for the championship. Or I'm sorry, at Battleground, having some sort of a fluky finish or something where Rollins gets somehow title against Lesnar.
I think if they're going to use Lesnar's appearances, there's going to be a decisive winner. I can't see any way Brock Lesnar doesn't walk out with the title. He was named the guy to get the title shot at Battleground tonight. I was surprised, as yourself, that they would use him at this pay-per-view. But, the sky's the limit with Lesnar, and, it was clear Seth Rollins looked like he saw a ghost. I think he understands, as he's alienated all of the Authority members, to go at it on his own against Brock Lesnar. This is going to be easily the toughest test of his career. So, anyone who's a Brock Lesnar fan or has been waiting to see Brock Lesnar back, this show is going to be something you'll want to see for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, not that I don't think in this situation you really have to deal with it, but I mean, you've almost had to deal with, aside from his match with Dean Ambrose, he almost got the cool heel push with him, and it's tough. I mean, he was definitely the heel against Dean Ambrose, and not the cool heel, but he was the heel against Dean Ambrose. But he got some credibility by winning this match straight up.
Right.
But he's without a doubt the chicken shit heel now against Brock Lesnar. So I think that's going to be interesting leading up. To be honest with you, I don't know what he was so afraid of tonight. I mean, basically, shit. He knows Brock Lesnar's contract, and he knows that, hey, Brock Lesnar's going to get physical with him, or it's going to cost WWE $200,000. So, I mean, he should have probably stuck around. I would have stuck in the ring and felt pretty invincible, feeling confident. Hey, you know what? Vince McMahon probably didn't pay him $200,000 tonight to around or have a sort of a skirmish and F5 me or attempt to F5 me. So I don't know why he was so chicken shit there. But
why did Triple H book Rollins in this match? You know, I mean, I understand there's friction between them and they want him to prove himself, but man, I mean, they hate Brock as much as anybody. That being Steph and Triple H, I'm shocked they would reinstate him for this match. It doesn't seem like something that benefits them. I'm really surprised by it.
Yeah, well, I think that's over the last 2 weeks or so, or really over the last week or so. I think that Seth Rollins really done a good job of isolating himself from everybody.
Right.
There, where as past, it would sort of get to the point where, hey, I'm isolating myself from you, and then I'm going to come down and save you during the championship match.
Right.
Versus now, I think I said it back in like November, December. He's a great heel because he's hated by so many faces.
Mm-hmm.
And he not just faces, he's also hated by Kane and the people who are sort of Brock Lesnar, who was sort of face heel at the time, but probably more of a heel. But, I mean, he was hated by everybody. And now he really is hated by everybody. It's almost like Paige in the locker room trying to draw support. He has no support. That's
the good thing WWE has booked with NXT and WWE. If you watch NXT, Kevin Owens is the same way. He feuds with everybody. Right now he's feuding with Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, Sami Zayn, Alex Riley. I mean, he feuds with everyone. And I think that's a good formula for a heel, that they have a constant new flow of competitors. And you know what? It keeps a lot of guys in the title picture. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I find it very enjoyable myself. Yeah, Rollins has definitely done a good job as champion for sure. But unfortunately, I do think his title reign is coming to an end with Brock Lesnar back in town. They are not bringing Brock Lesnar back on TV, not to be utilized as a top guy, in my opinion. So it should be interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, I was going to say it should be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing this go down at Battleground. And you know what? It's almost at the point where I think I may or may not have disclosed my future WWE Network subscriber plans. And I think back in January, I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to stick with WWE Network through the pay-per-view that's coming up, through this Money in the Bank pay-per-view. That's usually a pretty solid pay-per-view. And then, hey, I got a couple months until Battleground, or until SummerSlam. And SummerSlam will have to sell itself on a card. But this sort of puts me at the point where, hey, you know what? I'm just not going to cancel.
They know what they're doing. Killer Kev, you with us?
What's up?
Would you have preferred Ambrose or Lesnar returning to be the next up versus or somebody else at Battleground from what you saw on Raw tonight?
I think Lesnar.
How come?
I mean, Ambrose is fine, but I don't know. It seems like we can always go back to Ambrose later. Right. Now Brock's been off the scene for a couple months now, so him coming back, it's fresh, plus he deserves a rematch for his title.
Yeah, I mean, Brock is a special attraction. I mean, as much as you want to say, hey, he's a full-time wrestler, he's a special attraction. So you bring him back for a pay-per-view like this, it's going to get a lot more views. And quite simply, I mean, I'm just not going to cancel now because I'm going to watch that and watch SummerSlam. And if they give me a compelling reason right after SummerSlam, I'll probably watch straight through. So instead of having 6 to 8 months of pay-per-view purchases from me, you've gotten a year if you continue to book this right. They went from 6 to 8 months to now I'm probably at 8 to 10 months this year.
Well, Killer Kev won't be subscribing. We know that. He's insulted by the free months. I get it. I should
give Killer Kev my subscription information because the only time I turn it on is for pay-per-views.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch 1989 WCW Saturday Night Main Event, you guys are more than welcome to.
You're not even going to turn it on for the Dusty Rhodes tribute?
I'm talking to you guys right now. I may turn it on for the Dusty Rhodes tribute after this.
Right, after this. I mean, don't turn us off now.
No.
not gonna shut you up.
Even if you can download it for free.
All you know, I could be watching Dusty Rhodes tribute right now and just muting you guys whenever I'm not.
You are.
Okay, Vic, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to call you out on this. We know better than that bullshit. You can't even concentrate on this show half the time.
Yeah, well, I did. Right, I did get a nice, about a 30-minute snooze leading up to this, so I'm feeling pretty refreshed right now.
You know what I don't like? That Sheamus and Randy Orton are feuding for the millionth time. Like, where did this come? Another one that just kind of came out of nowhere. And they're both interfering in each other's matches. Ambrose was able to score a quick win over the new Money in the Bank winner, Sheamus, because of Randy Orton interference. And vice versa, later in the night, Kane booked himself mid-match into a no DQ match. Kane got a win over Randy Orton thanks to Sheamus interference, and that one was way more blatant. You know what? I'm not really interested in this feud at all. I don't understand why it's being booked again.
Yeah.
I would assume whoever wins that match would be in a position to be a number one contender, but I don't know. It just kind of came out of nowhere. They should have done more in the Money in the Bank match to kind of solidify that feud between the two of them. I'm just not overly excited about seeing these guys hook it up again, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I feel like it's not the best utilization. I'd almost rather see this match turn into Randy Orton and Dolph Ziggler versus Kane and Sheamus. Something along those lines, just to spice it up a little bit. And you know what? I don't want to see Sheamus and Randy Orton. You give 25 minutes. They're not going to put on them the match of the year. Or they're not going to put on a great match. I mean, you're better off keeping it 12-minute match, getting the result that you want, and going on from there.
True.
But I don't see a real benefit at a pay-per-view other than just sort of filling out the card.
Can I tell you just Kane tonight? The one thing I didn't like the feud with Sheamus, but I love the backstage interaction with Seth Rollins and how bad he wanted a piece of Seth Rollins. I mean, this thing has been, and maybe again it's that I'm a Kane mark, but this Seth Rollins Kane thing has been going on for months, and I mean it's a slow build to something. I don't know what it's going to be, but I mean, I think they're a hot little feud, and they've been for a while. I really like the dissension between the two of them. Yeah,
well, that's the thing that's sort of frustrating is that, I mean, it seems like it came to a head where they should be having a match right now, and I would have almost thought, hey, Kane at Battleground, assume Seth Rollins retains because I don't really see him putting the belt on Kane, and then have Lesnar win the championship at SummerSlam. Now I'm thinking it's going to be Lesnar winning it the pay-per-view at Battleground, fighting whoever, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, whoever, and then Seth Rollins getting Kane. Because I don't see wrestlers like Kane. You need a storyline behind their fight.
But he's a constant storyline. There's always his character so many layers, and he's so deep. You always have a storyline ready to go with Kane. That's the difference between him. And I hate to take a shot at Randy Orton, but that's the difference between him, Sheamus, and Randy Orton. Kane's character has way more depth than those other two. You could go any which way with Kane. Forget about where he is in his talent level and the damage that's been done to him and all the shit you read on the boards, but Kane's character is of legend. You know, I mean, it's probably one of the top 5, top 10 developed storylines in the history of WWE. Kane is an amazing character. For sure.
And I mean, he can, right now, you could see him at the next, I would say the next 3 months, either being a top level heel or a top level face. Because basically,
he is already. He's already.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying he could be in like one of the top, like, say 2 matches as face or a heel in like the next 2 pay-per-views. And basically, I'm saying that more of, he can do it as a heel for the Authority to just beat the piss out of Seth Rollins, or he could, or I guess he'd do it as a face there to do for them, or he could be in some sort of feud with Dean Ambrose or Randy Orton and be one of them major heels.
For sure. He's got that depth. How about Kevin Owens? Yeah, he did lose to John Cena. I don't think that's a big deal at all. I really don't. I thought they had an excellent match again. I thought Owens and Cena were the best match of the night. Maybe not. I don't know. The Ambrose Rollins match was so good. Both matches were incredible. It was a very good pay-per-view. I was very delighted to see Owens really continue on the mic about John Cena not being out. And you know what? It's essentially not over tonight. Not over between them, but he issued a challenge tonight, and Dolph Ziggler answered the bell. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I gotta tell you something, and I'm just gonna go off a bit of a tangent here. Kevin Owens last night, and again, let me get your opinion, Angry Tensai. Last night, better than his debut against Cena?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's. I don't know if the match was better, but the whole feel was better. It was a big match feel, and I mean, you knew this was going to be a war last night.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like finishing moves don't have an effect on Kevin Owens
or John Cena. The first match I actually do think was better, like technically. However, I thought the second match told a better story, and they've done such a good job over the last. I mean, they've only been feuding 4 weeks, and it feels like they've been feuding for months. I mean, these guys, they're awesome, both of them. And, Owens, he's got that thing to him. So he's kind of stealing the John Cena challenge, even though he didn't put the title on the line tonight. It's must-watch TV for WWE, and they haven't had that in segments for a long time. Like, who's going to come out and challenge him? Who's going to be the next? And Dolph Ziggler, I mean, he's a great athlete, and man, he made Kevin Owens look good tonight, for sure.
Yeah, but one of the things I was going to say about Kevin Owens, and just from watching last night, and I mean, it was like this in the first match too, but I think it was more hard-pressed in this match against Cena. I swear to God, he has like 5 moves that you could just say, those are like Kevin Owens, and it might not be his move. Like you can't say like, oh, that's a KO bomb or something like that. But he has like 5 moves that are either finishing moves or really cool and like moves that someday you're going to be saying vintage Owen.
Now you know why all the indie people love Kevin Owens, right? I mean, obviously he is as advertised, and if not better. I mean, he's the whole package. He's got the mic work. He's got a cool gimmick. He plays his heel role well, and he's a great worker. I mean, this guy's clearly a top guy already. I mean, hell, I didn't think he had it in him. I mean, I knew he would be a good wrestler when he burst on the scene in NXT, but I couldn't have imagined he would take his place this soon as a top guy. So he got the chance to take the ball and run with it, and he's clearly has the goods. I mean, there's even Neville losing matches. I mean, these guys clearly, Neville's not on Owens' level yet, but I mean, these guys are clearly going to make it. I mean, it's so obvious, especially Owens. I mean, he went over John Cena. He's a made man.
Some of his moves, and think about it. Look over like the last like 2 years or so. People like coming up out of NXT, like all the new wrestlers coming through the pipeline. Think of the people they've had the most success with. Owens with these moves.
Yeah, Owens. Yeah, he's the guy. I got to think this feud's going to continue, right? I mean, are they going to have a rubber match?
I mean, I definitely think they will. But think about. Let me go back here. Let me divert a little bit from conversation. Think about the people who've been successful coming out of NXT. Neville with his Red Arrow flip move. Dean Ambrose with his back split off the ring rope or whatever.
That he stole from Nigel McGuinness.
What's that?
That he stole from Nigel McGuinness.
Well, you have to be relevant to have him steal it from you. I mean, you got to start doing Stone Cold Stunners. You can steal something like that from Nigel McGuinness, and nobody really gives a crap.
Whoa, Kevin, did you hear that?
What was that?
Nigel McGuinness just got ripped by Vic.
Oh man, dude!
Nigel McGuinness would kill you, Vic. He's a nasty guy.
I know. Doesn't he have like Hep B or something?
Hep C. But you can actually. You know what's funny, Kev? I don't know if this changes things for Nigel McGuinness, but Savaldi hit them. This is not a joke. Savaldi hit the market a year ago. It cures Hep C. You know that, right?
No, why would I need to know that?
Internet right searching.
So Savaldi, it's very expensive. It's a biotech drug. The treatments, they can cost up to 50 to 100 grand. But over an 8-week period, the success rate's like 98%. This drug, it's a wonder drug. It cures Hep C. And if I'm not mistaken, that's why Nigel McGuinness doesn't wrestle, right?
No, he says he was cured of hepatitis, and he doesn't wrestle anymore because there's really no more opportunities for him.
How could that be? He was one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Well, basically, he's done everything he ever wanted to do except for WWE, and WWE turned him away.
Yeah, but I think now there's an opportunity. I really do. If guys like Samoa Joe are getting an opportunity, don't you think?
I say if WWE came up with a bullshit of an excuse not to hire him because of like a 10-year-old injury, then there's probably something else that happened backstage with WWE that they don't want him.
Right.
I don't know.
Interesting.
But let me say, cool move. When Roman Reigns was super over, he was doing that run and kick on the apron move. Doing diving headbutts out of the ring. I mean, you gotta have, like, when they come up from NXT, you can have, like, BS moves like Adam Rose, where he's running the Ascension, where
their move's awesome. I love the Fall Man.
Yeah, the Fall Man is good, but the problem is they got brought in and they're like, okay, you know what? It's like, you're not gonna bury the tag team champions in the first match, or you're not going to win against tag team champions in the first match and have like a legit reason to talk crap. You're going to bury Hector and Javier scrubs, and then you can cut a promo to really build yourself up against like some of the legends of WWE. So I mean, they got there. They have a cool finishing move, but not great. That's why I don't think...
No, man. Kevin Owens came in and picked the fight with one of the biggest legends of all time. So it's all relative. It's all on the character. I mean, no one could have burst on the scene better than Kevin Owens did. I mean, that was just the best debut I've seen in a very long time.
But the thing I do want to give credit to is, and I already talked about him, sort of beat this to death, he has an incredible moveset.
You are jerking off to moves tonight. My God.
I really appreciate it. I watched the Owens and Cena match. I'm like, holy shit. Like, I don't know what's going to be Kevin. I don't know if he's going to get a pinfall. And then really that's Kevin Owens finishing. That's why I felt like there were a lot of false finishes there. Not because, hey, he had his pop-up power 5 times.
It was very high impact, and you never knew when the match was going to end for sure. It was very high impact.
Yeah, so great match by both of them. Kudos, I think, over the last, really, since WrestleMania, I think we've given John Cena his due respect. He's really worked hard, really put on some matches, and really put some people over. And kudos to him. I mean, we'll bury him for his cheesiness and some of the tacky feuds he gets into, but shoot, he's really he's earned his paycheck these last couple of months.
Primetime players are new tag champions.
Yeah, that was a painful match to watch last night. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, I think if you were going to give the primetime players the titles, the best time would have been in that Elimination Chamber match. They kind of missed an opportunity there, I think, and it just didn't feel good last night. And tonight, you know, I think there was really no reaction from the crowd to Neville and the primetime players versus the New Day. Not so much towards Neville, but I just didn't feel the primetime players. The crowd's out in love with him. The crowd obviously loves Neville, but I like the primetime players, don't get me wrong, but there's just something missing to that team.
It seemed forced. I mean, it almost seemed like, hey, you know what? The New Day, they got, like, one of them got arrested or something. Let's take the straps off of them. It almost seemed like a punishment last night, because, I mean, that match was like 5 minutes long. That wasn't, like, you know what? You put on
so much time building up New Day. Like, I don't understand why you would take the belts off them, especially after Kidd and Cesaro got injured. I just don't get it. Like, New Day really, like, there was a lot of people picking Kofi Kingston to win Money in the Bank. In fact, he was, if you look at the betting lines, Kofi was the second most likely guy behind Roman Reigns to win.
Wow.
Because people thought they were going to do the thing with everybody, you know, all three of them are the suitcase winner. And they're very closely aligned with the Authority, it seems. Behind the scenes, they've done some bidding for the Authority. So,
especially recent.
Yeah, I didn't like them losing the belts. I don't understand why, because it's kind of like, you know, the problem I have with the Divas division is the same problem I have with the tag team division. Sooner or later, everyone gets the belt once. And I don't think that's good. Everyone should not be the champion.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. And you know what? They said, I think that was the first time the Frontline players were ever champions. And to basically have them come back for maybe a month and a half and get the championship back, it cheapens what they were. I mean, they were a decent fan favorite tag team for probably a good year or two. And they never put the belts on them. So
they haven't really won a lot of matches since they got back.
What's that?
They have not won a lot of matches since they got back. I don't know why they were getting the title shot to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, other than the fact that the tag division is pretty much shot. Again, now that Kidd and Cesaro are out. I'd love to see him get Cesaro back in there. Maybe Cesaro and Neville.
I don't think the tag team division shot. I mean, I just think they picked the wrong team right now. I think I have no issue with heel versus heel. You have Harper and Rowan running around. The Ascension got a good buzz in the Elimination Chamber match. Shake it up a little bit. You know, I have no problem with that. It doesn't have to be face on heel. Or grab two singles wrestlers.
We have it, and again, I might have slept through this 20 minutes of it, but I didn't see Ascension tonight. I didn't see Harper and Rowan tonight.
Luchas, yeah.
So, I mean, that's the thing. You cannot build up tag teams if they're not on Raw every week. Or not even every week, but if they're not on Raw and then, okay, they're out because of an injury or something like that.
The tag team titles are important.
Yes.
I'm watching this wrestle crap that I don't even want to comment on. Ryback, Big Show, and Miz. And then you have R-Truth earlier in the night. Put back together R-Truth and Miz. Put back together Show Miz. Big Show and Miz. They were both great tag teams. And you have those guys doing absolutely nothing. Put them together. Put together Cody Rhodes and Damian Sandow and make them Rhodes Scholars. Right? I mean, you could put Big Show and Miz together as a tag team. They were a good tag team. Miz was the U.S. champion at the same time. You could put Sandow back with Rhodes. And all of a sudden, you have two legit tag teams that are established, that have been around in the past. And I know people don't like to see that again, but I think there was more to do with both of those teams, to be honest with you.
And you know what else bugs me about it? Is those are the type of tag teams you can put together, and they have credibility whether or not they have the titles. I mean, it's almost like Harper and Rowan. I think it's sort of hey, you know what? They're such a good tag team where they can be so good together and work so good together. They don't need the titles for credibility.
No.
I mean,
more
like Show Miz or Rhodes Scholars. But, I mean, based on just being badasses and big guys.
Never got the tag titles, which is shocking considering they were, when they were in the tag division, they were like the main tag team. I always thought Miz Show Show Miz was a cheap version of Jericho, which I really love that tag team because, man, Jericho had a hard time with that breakup. But, I have no issue. I have no issue with the rehashes at all. If there's good storylines ready to go for them,
Yeah. That's the problem is they're, like you said, it's just wrestle crap. I mean, it's easier for them to, hey, let's have R-Truth come out with a plunger, rope from the hotel, and a Burger King crown, and get a 30-second victory over the King Ring, Wade Barrett, to advance the feud somehow.
That Wade Barrett R-Truth thing I don't get either. I mean, there's a lot of, actually, they've pressed a lot of right buttons over the last couple months, but I wasn't a big fan of tonight's Raw, to be honest with you.
No, I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of junk there. I mean, I like how they started to advance towards the next pay-per-view, but at the same time, they have 5 weeks for it to happen, and they basically have, I guess, what could arguably be their two of the 3 biggest matches, and with the third one probably pending, with Cena and Owen being pending. I mean, you have the championship match, and you have Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt.
Right.
I mean, those are the 3 biggest matches outside of Cena and Owens. And there's nothing really. I mean, Sheamus and Orton or
Paige and Nikki Bella doesn't interest you?
Paige and Nikki Bella and Paige interest me in one way and one way only. And it's not to be part of a pay-per-view. Although I think I could probably sell the video and make a handsome profit.
True.
Shit, I'd probably give it away. By the way, who was the? Did you saw the backstage segment where we're all sitting there and there's like the 8 divas there, and before Paige before Brie and what's her name, before the Bellas show up, there were like the 8 divas there. Who was the one, like, she was sort of Asian looking, but she had big tits and she was sort of sexy thick? Who was that?
An Asian?
She was sort of Asian, not super Asian.
When was this?
This was in the backstage segment, and she had really big tits. She almost looked sexy thick.
Was it Layla?
I don't know. Kev, help us out here, buddy.
What am I helping with?
The chick who was during the backstage segment with before the Bellas got there, she was sort of standing in the background towards the center, and she's Asian and giant tits, sort of a little bit taller.
Tamina?
No, I don't think it was Tamina.
No idea what you're talking about, man. Not that I could tell you in particular who anybody was in the background there, but
oh shit, man, you got to start following the Divas division. No, she looked pretty good, and I'm gonna look her up online right now.
I'll say right now, I went to the bathroom during the Paige Bella Twin segment.
I kind of half dozed through it myself.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just
the Bella Twins beat up Paige again.
I mean, when Paige, hates on everybody and nobody wants to team up with her now. Wah!
That's a storyline now.
I know. I wish they could, find something else to do.
Bottom line, tonight's Raw, and I never will do this, but I will tonight. Tonight's Raw was a D at best, and I'm being polite. It just wasn't good. It did not capture my interest at all. Like, it's awesome Brock Lesnar came back, but that was the last minute. I liked where they started with Dean Ambrose kind of holding the floor, but it didn't go anywhere. So, I mean, literally it was Dean Ambrose was gonna hold the floor for a title shot or opportunity. He couldn't hold the floor because Sheamus stopped him, and Lesnar came back. That pretty much was Raw. I mean, it just was a whole lot of nothing.
Kevin Owens coming out and talking. That was entertaining.
Well,
that was pretty entertaining. Kevin Owens coming back and talking.
But John Cena wasn't there.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. But I mean, at the same time, they have time to build up.
No Rusev.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, Rusev's out. Cena's quote-unquote out now, storyline-wise.
Like I said, not interesting.
Well, I think there's a good reason for that.
Why?
Stanley Cup Finals tonight.
Understood. Here's the deal. Obviously, they're setting up their matches, and that I get that. And on paper, Owens versus Cena again for the rubber match, and Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins, that'll deliver. So fine. But you do have to get us to that pay-per-view. That's all I'm saying. You got to get us there. So get us there. This could have been booked better. That's all I'm saying. It was a little bit of laziness.
And my question is, I think I might have dozed during this, but apparently Bray Wyatt, or apparently Roman Reigns was apparently he came out to call out what's his name, Bray Wyatt. What happened there? I missed that.
Bray Wyatt just came out over the Titantron and talked about how he lost his opportunity to stop the machine and create history at Money in the Bank, and it was only fitting that he cost Reigns his match to make the world right. Something to that effect. That was his explanation for why, but Reigns was so pissed about Money in the Bank, he wanted he wanted Bray Wyatt right now. I mean, it was cool. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Reigns is obviously getting better on the mic for sure.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think this is a feud where it's almost like they're training wheels for next year's WrestleMania. Where I think that with giving him a little bit more mic time, let him get over as a true face rather than being forced down people's throats.
Yeah.
That Roman Reigns is, I think he's going to be in a much better situation a year from now, or 8 months from now, or 10 months from now, when they're booking WrestleMania, than he was at this WrestleMania. Because, I mean, at that point, he was pretty much getting forced down people's throats.
Right. Well, I mean, that was to Bray Wyatt's point. They're opposites. And, they're two different things, and one's good, one's bad, and, that's booking. So, I mean, they're obviously two polar opposite wrestlers going the same direction. So they're on a collision course. It will be entertaining. That was pretty much it, Big Deck. That was it. That's it. That was Raw.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that great of a Raw. I liked some parts, but the rest of it seemed like wrestle crap.
I agree.
And you know what? I feel like they'd be better off waiting to put some of these feuds together, because now basically you're gonna have next 5 Raws, or next 4 or 5 Raws, maybe like one more Brock Lesnar appearance, one more, or maybe 2 or 3 more. What's his name? Paul Heyman appearances. Really not that much to look forward to over the next few weeks.
No.
You basically have the entire show booked. Or you have 3 main matches booked and ready to go. And you know what? I think the diva I was someone attracted to was Layla.
I knew.
Yeah. I mean, she's getting pretty. She looks like she's had a little enhancement talent up there, and she's almost sexy thick. I'd say she's a pretty big girl. Like pretty.
I got nothing left. Let me ask you, Kev, what's going on the network?
Well, tomorrow night we are going to be, actually twice this week, we're going to be interviewing stars of Jeff Jarrett's new Global Force Wrestling. Tomorrow night on the Undisputed Wrestling Show at 9 p.m., we are going to have Congo Kong, who's been on the show before, but now he's a big-name superstar, so we get to have him again. Then at 10 p.m., we have independent wrestler Vinny Barboza coming onto the show as well to talk about what he's doing in the independents. Wednesday night, of course, is Glove Up or Shut Up with Stevie J and Peter H., talking about all the things in MMA, and there was a big upset for the UFC title this past weekend, so if you haven't gotten those results yet, check it out. Thursday night, AMP, 9 p.m., we are going to be doing our second GFW interview, this time with the former Ohio Valley Wrestling heavyweight tag team and television champion, and now major primetime star, Jamin Olivencia.
Huh. Jamin Olivencia, eh?
Yes, sir.
I like it. I like it a lot. Very good, very good. Anything else we got cooking on the network this week?
There you go.
Nothing else?
I like this next pay-per-view. Unfortunately, I don't like the next 4 weeks of filler in between now and when this pay-per-view takes place. So, you have that. I feel like we can just nonchalantly cancel one of our Raw reactions over the next month with the lack. I feel like there's going to be just a lack of really motivated booking here now that we've sort of established everyone. And I hope WWE proves me wrong here, but I just feel like it's sort of we've got some booking that's forced down our throat and stuff that they haven't let fester and haven't let improve and move on to. Hey, this is what we really want to. They haven't made us want to see a match. And Roman Reigns and even Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. Like, I don't feel like they want to build this up. Kevin Owens, yes. Lesnar, yes. That's it. They need to go to work over the next month.
I hear ya. You know what's calling my name? Like all of our great listeners, their bed is calling their name. They're saying, you know what, we just watched 3 hours of Raw. And
No
it's
Dusty Rhodes tribute?
Yes, you can watch that and report back to us. But I don't know about you guys, but I think I'm good to go for the night. How about you, Killer Kev?
I think so too. I want to ask you a question though.
Sure.
What do you think about John Cena's latest move at the pay-per-view last night?
Which one?
The Code Red.
What was that again?
The Code Red.
Was that the flip that he did between when he was like upside down and he flipped him over and slammed him?
Yeah. I know that. It was kind of like, I know what move you guys are talking about. That move was a lot more Kevin Owens than it was John Cena.
You know, honestly, when I first saw it, I thought it was the Canadian Destroyer, and I was like, Jesus Christ, har har, WWE. John Cena uses the Canadian Destroyer on the Canadian. But
you know what? I was trying to. That almost looked like a move that I would have expected to see somebody like Cesaro.
And
didn't AJ Styles use that move? Or no, Petey Williams used that move.
Well, Petey Williams uses the Canadian Destroyer, yes.
Yeah,
and the way John Cena did it, I thought it was a really fucked up Canadian Destroyer. And I bitched about it when I typed up the recap for it this afternoon. I'm like, Jesus Christ, stop using these shitty moves. You haven't practiced enough. You fuck up the...
It didn't look good. It looked like Owens did it to him.
Well...
It's a good move.
Well, I actually found out from Stevie J later today, he actually did do the move right, because it's the Code Red, and it's slightly different. Trevor Murdoch used it for his finisher.
Oh, yeah. I didn't like the move. And I think the stunner off the rope also looked shitty.
Yeah, that looked shitty.
Yeah, he barely hit it. I mean, that was definitely...
I've never seen him hit it clean and flush on.
Why does Cena need to do all this at this point in his career? Is he trying to prove to us he can wrestle?
You know what I think it is? I think he's doing it to put these people over. I mean, if he's literally look back at every one of his matches since WrestleMania.
Send me to bed. Put me over.
You know what? Every single one of his matches since WrestleMania, and he's probably had 10 that we've seen. Very good to great matches.
Yes.
So I'm sold. I'm sold in this. A lot less talking to Mike, a lot more fighting, and I feel like this is almost.
He has his work boots on.
Exactly. I mean, I feel like this is not quite on the level of obviously Andre the Giant putting over Hulk Hogan, but I feel like it's sort of his like giving back and really, hey, we need to establish a new superstar, and Cena's comfortable working with it. So I give him kudos. Like I'd say the last 2-3 months, probably he's been in the best matches between Rusev, putting that feud to bed with the Rusev injury helped out a little bit, and then his new feud with Kevin Owens, along with like 5 or 6 straight weeks of matches. Every match was at least 10 minutes long and really made whoever came out for the challenge look. Yeah. So I mean, I'm happy. I think he's over the last 3 months. I think he's the MVP of WWE, and not for the reasons you'd usually say.
Well said. Well, you know what? I'm calling it a Raw reaction. It's been a great show.
It has. I'm looking forward to next week's show.
Thank you, Mr. Kev. Thank you, Mr. Vic. Guys, It's been a pleasure. Hit the music and have a good night, guys.